Yes, lads, welcome to the Goodness Voice. Reese Jacobs here for a brand new video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Aston Villa versus Liverpool, and the last segment of the video, we're going to be talking about Real Madrid versus Man City. Yeah, let's jump straight into it. Liverpool versus Aston Villa, or Aston Villa versus Liverpool. So they obviously played away from home. 2-2 draw. How would Liverpool be looking at this, guys? Is it point gained, 2 points dropped? I feel Liverpool fans would have felt that both those feelings in the game, a lot of feelings in that sentence. Um, and why I say that is, Villa have been really good at home this season. They've only lost one game to Arsenal. Okay, take that into context. They've only lost one game at home against the top two sides, right? With that being Arsenal, they've been really good away from at home. Um, so I think you go in halftime, Liverpool are losing 2-1, yeah? And then Trent scores the goal. I think at that moment as a Liverpool fan, you think, you're losing, could have got nothing from the game. At that moment when Trent scores, you think you take 2-2 there. Yeah, good point. Um, but how the second half panned out with how good Liverpool were in that second half, yeah, I think Liverpool fans will be looking at that, especially that Darwin Nunez miss. And we'll speak about Darwin a bit later. Um, that Darwin Nunez miss, you probably should be winning that game. And not just the Darwin Nunez miss, the majority of the second half, I think Liverpool were miles better than Aston Villa, far better in the second half than they were in the first half. So I do understand why Liverpool themselves will feel like it's probably 2 points dropped in the whole context of the game. Um, and I've seen a lot of flack for Darwin Nunez, and it's very hard to gauge, you know, who the flack's from because there's online fans and supporters, and then there's you know really good supporters, and every fan base has got that, every club has got that. Um, and it was interesting because I straight after the game, TNT released the interviews with Van Dijk and on his slot, and a lot of online Liverpool fans, if you can call them that, were were really giving it to Darwin Nunez, and I think on the whole, Liverpool, but I know Nunez missed a couple of gilt edge opportunities this season, and that's the play he is. It's not like something new. Arsenal's got that in Kai Havertz. When Havertz misses, you're like, you get really angry. But that's the type of players they are. They're not the cleanest finishers. They're not Haaland. They're not Lewandowski. Um, so taking the fact that just a couple of months ago, Darwin Nunez came off the bench to win Liverpool 2 points. I can't remember who it was against. Maybe you guys can remember. I clearly remember him coming off the bench. I think Liverpool were drawing the game. Could have been against Brighton. I'm not too sure. But he came off the bench and he scored 2 goals. Liverpool ended up winning the game. So as much as you guys dropped 2 points in, you'll be pointing to the fact that Darwin Nunez missed that glorious opportunity. And by all means, he should never be missing that, regardless of whether it's his first touch of the game, he's just come off the bench. If you were a number 9, that's your bread and butter. Yeah, you should be scoring that. You hit the target, you score because the keeper went for a walk. Yeah, and talking about keepers, I thought Emi Martinez had a really good game. Really, really good game. There was the save against Szoboszlai in the first half. Szoboszlai went through, and so I was watching both games. Yeah, I had Liverpool versus Aston Villa on my monitor and Real Madrid versus Man City on my laptop. And I looked up from the Real Madrid game because something was happening in the Real Madrid game. I think it was when Mbappe had just scored his hat trick. Yeah, and we'll get onto that when we talk about Real Madrid versus Man City. But there's a chance where Darwin Nunez went through, and probably like a couple of meters between Nunez and Martinez rushing out, and I just thought red card. Immediately, just thought it's a red card. Thought he's not going to miss the man, and he's not going to win the ball. Yeah, so I didn't think Darwin Nunez would get past him, but I just thought with how far he was. But credit to him, he came out, took the ball with his man in a clean way. Really good challenge, and he kept Villa in the game. And the last like what 5 seconds. Daniel would have been a great story, yeah. Haaland boy, grabs the winner against Liverpool, but I think it was deserved. I didn't think Aston Villa deserved to win the game. I actually felt Liverpool deserved to win the game, and anyone who watched that would have felt the same way. So what does that mean for Liverpool? Um, Best mate's actually a Liverpool fan, so self and we were talking about the game after the game, and it was quite nervy. A lot of Liverpool fans probably be nervy, left it all open for Arsenal a bit, but I think Liverpool need to take the season into context. Yeah, they're 8 points clear. I don't even want to talk about a game in hand because game in hand, you much rather have the points in a game in hand. Liverpool can first hand tell Arsenal how that feels. Yeah, they've had that game in hand for so long and they drop points. So I don't want to even hear about game in hand. Liverpool are 8 points clear against a really toothless Arsenal at the moment. Yeah, they got the win against Leicester. Leicester. Okay, remember who Leicester are. Remember that there are three championship teams in the Premier League. Premier League consists of 17 Premier League teams, and there are three championship teams in Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton. So Arsenal really struggled against Southampton. The first half was probably one of the worst halves of football I've watched as an Arsenal fan for a long time. It's just wasn't good enough. And the less spoken about that first half, the better. They got the job done in the end against when Mourinho got the two goals. But you can't be depending on a midfielder playing up front. So they're gonna have to make a lot more. They're gonna have to do a lot more. So Liverpool probably looking at last season thinking, oh, Arsenal won 14 out of 16 games. Yeah, that it's not the same this season. Can Arsenal do that? There's 13 games left this season. Can Arsenal win 11 out of those 13 games? As an Arsenal fan, having watched every single minute of football this season, I don't think so. Yeah, Arsenal are not the team they were last season. They're really nervy when they go away from home. Yeah, they nick games away from home, and they haven't been as good as last season. And I think for Arsenal to hang on the coattails of Liverpool from now until maybe mid March, end of March, it's going to have to be some really tough watches. And Arsenal are going to have to win games really scruffy. They're going to have to nick games because just not enough in that attacking lineup. I think probably get away with it against West Ham this weekend. I think Arsenal have been really good at home, bar the Newcastle game in the Carabao Cup. But yeah, I think where you'd really see Arsenal struggle is that Nottingham Forest game when you've got a real back line. You look at Murillo and Milinkovic, and you look at Arsenal's options up front in terms of Sterling, Trossard, and Merino, and those two they're just so powerful. Yeah, I think they're really going to struggle. If they do win that game, it's gonna be a scruffy one, a 1-0. Having said that, I think if Arsenal beat West Ham this weekend, right? They go 5 points behind. I do think Liverpool beat City. Okay, and part of that is down to how Man City played last night. Man City are the perfect opposition for Liverpool at this moment in time. What did City struggle with? Teams with energy. What did Liverpool have? They're one of the most energetic teams in the league. Yeah, they can. This season they've been really balanced under Arne Slot. But when games become chaotic, it suits Liverpool as well. They've got so much energy, and I think they beat City this weekend. And I always said, if Liverpool were to get 4 points from these two games, besides the Newcastle game, because I think they'll smash Newcastle, if they were to get 4 points from Aston Villa away and Man City away, I think that's it for the title race. Honestly, I feel that's it. And it could be different. Arsenal could win Saturday and Liverpool could drop points against City on Sunday, and then it's a totally different conversation. But how things have panned out, if Liverpool play their game, Liverpool have been the best team in England. Let's be honest. Yeah, they've been the best team in England by a mile or so. Having said that, if Arsenal do win their game on Saturday, with all the problems Arsenal's had, and it's been all Arsenal's fault for those problems. There's no excuse when it comes to injuries and red cards. 5 points behind Liverpool, who have been flying. that's testament to the good job Arteta's doing and the good job Arsenal's done. I think, and Arsenal probably don't get enough credit for it, and rightly so, because you shouldn't get credit for being there. You should get credit for winning things. And the fact is, Arsenal haven't won anything as of yet. Um, so yeah, I think Liverpool are still in a really commanding position. 8 points clear, 12 games to go. Um, Probably still there is to lose, but Arsenal do have a there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So you just have to focus on themselves and both teams. Yeah, if Liverpool focus on themselves, they win the league. You know, but that's not how it is. It creeps into your thought, and I think if Arsenal can really get a result, not even a result, they have to get 3 points. If you get 3 points against Nottingham Forest, yeah, I think that puts a bit of doubt into Liverpool's mind. Probably look at that and think, struggling Arsenal, winning at Forest, place that they struggled at. Um, that probably tell Liverpool it's probably going to go down to the wire. Arsenal's probably going to be there till the end. So I think if Arsenal have any sort of chance, they cannot lose a game up until they play Liverpool. That's it. That's it. That's how good this Liverpool team is. I don't think Arsenal can afford to drop any points up until first week of May, second week of May, when they go to Anfield. Because not only has Arsenal they haven't been poor at Anfield recently. They've picked up a point. The last 2 seasons at Anfield. But I think I think that's the only game Arsenal can afford to drop points in, and the likelihood of that, it's it's not very likely. Um, so yeah, I think Liverpool commanding position. Still think it's there to lose. I think they've got the experience to still go on and win the title, and I think it's a really good point. I think that point against Aston Villa, I think that's the harder of the two games for Liverpool, the Villa away than the City away. Anyway, on that, let's head over to Man City versus Real Madrid, or Real Madrid versus Man City, and yeah, it was the Mbappe show. Mbappe will get all the headlines, but Madrid were just miles better than Man City. Yeah, Man City's just got no energy. Just looks so flat at the moment. It looks like it looks like when a team's 10th in the league with like 6 games to go, their season's over. They're not going to get relegated. They're not going to make Europe, so they're just coasting. Um, so yeah, it just looks like it's over for Man City. And I thought if they had any chance of beating Liverpool on Sunday, it would have been if they were competitive last night, and they weren't competitive. And I think it's going to be a very flat Etihad come Sunday, because just nothing left to play for City this season. They're still in the FA Cup. City is a powerhouse, and the FA Cup doesn't mean much to them, and rightly so, because they won everything in these last couple of years. So I still think with how inconsistent everyone else has been, bar Liverpool and Arsenal, City can still afford to lose a couple of games and still make Champions League. So I don't think it's a must win for City on Sunday, and it's definitely a must win for Liverpool, I think. So yeah, I think Liverpool goes there and probably be a hard watch as a City fan, I think, because Liverpool have just got tons of energy, and that's what City struggles with. And we saw that last night in terms of Real Madrid. I think it's just too much energy in that Real Madrid team. You look at someone like Valverde, it's just a battery. It just doesn't run out. It's like he's just keeps going. He's such a good player, man. Oh, what a player. Bellingham, absolutely amazing in midfield. Uh, Vinny, just doing what Vinicius Junior does. Mbappe obviously will grab the headlines. 3 fantastic finishes. Not the scruffy finish of last week. The third goal was just, you know, it's laughable by how good you can be, or how good he can be. He picks the ball up on the right hand side, does a couple of step overs, leaves Phil Foden in the dust, and then with his weaker foot from outside the box. Was it outside the box? I think it was, maybe just on the edge of the box. Just slots it into the corner. It's ridiculous. City got a consolation. That's all it was. I thought the centre back, the Ramos regen, Asensio, really good. And every team, no matter how many Galacticos, no matter how many stars there are, when you have one of your own in the team, Liverpool will speak about it, City will speak about it, Arsenal will speak about it. When you've got one of your own in a team, playing with these mega stars, it just adds, to the enjoyment. And Asensio was, what a player. What a player. He looks like a Ramos regen. So aggressive, gets the fans pumped up, real old school centre back, but he's still the pass for Mbappe. And I know Ruben Diaz got caught under the ball. But yeah, really good performance. And I think Real Madrid totally deserved it. And I think it's just one of those seasons for City where they just have to take it on the chin and move forward. They just have to move forward, get into next season. I think there'll be a lot of investment in the next season. I think City are short a winger. I think they're short in the back line, definitely a left back and right back. Um, I think centre back wise is still okay. Yeah, it's still got Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake, John Stones, Akanji, still some really good players there in the back line. But I think with left back and right back, there's been glaring miss, for Man City. So I think they'll invest heavily this summer. Rodri will be back next season. Will be a little bit easier. I don't think even with Rodri there, um, that it would be any better than what it is now. Yeah, there'd probably be a couple of more points, but it's not only the midfield that's been an issue. I think it's just been a lack of energy from the whole team. And is it end of an era? I'm not too sure. I think it's just a little bit of a hiccup in the journey. So yeah, I think City will be back next season, and we look forward to Sunday, and we look forward to Saturday. Can Arsenal get 3 points against West Ham? Didn't speak too much about Arsenal today, but that's okay. Arsenal didn't play, and we were reviewing a couple other games, and I think tomorrow we'll look at potential starting lineups and what I think Arteta would do. And yeah, so until tomorrow, cheers, gents. Have a good one. Peace.